Hey everyone, it's James at geometriccharts.com. It is October 5th, about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. The video is not investment advice, and basically I left the video off to where we were ready to drop off a cliff. We did not. It popped up, right? Now, one thing I noticed during this pop, volume was dwindling as price is rising. So we were trading around about 4 billion. Now we're all the way down to about 3.5 billion as we've pumped up. Again, what I see is price rising and strength deteriorating. Now we are spending a lot of time in these indicators toward the top end. What that makes me believe is that there's a potential for another pop in this market, given the light volume, given we're going into the weekend. But at the end of the day, I still think Bitcoin has further to go downward. I think if this was the bottom for Bitcoin, we would have seen big money come in. We would have seen that volume stay in this market. And instead, during these past rises and these past drops, the same exact thing I've noticed in volume during this time is all coming back in this thing. It's just like a reincarnation over and over and over again. It's like Groundhog Day in this market. So that's what I see. Again, while there still may be some more upside left out of Bitcoin, I believe it's going to be a hollow move. I believe it's going to be a guppy rally. Again, the only time I'm seeing significant volume come into the market and stay relatively, for a while is when the move is down due to the continuous selling pressure. So while Bitcoin is pumping up, it's being compressed to the downside, right? So if we have like a battle between sellers and a battle between buyers, and they're just knocking this ball back and forth, where's the ball staying most of the time? Down in here. Down with these guys. They just don't have the strength to fight the avalanche of sell orders in this market. And every single pop that's occurring in this market is leading to a drop. And at the end of this golden brick road, I guess you could say, since it's painted out to be that way from the mainstream media, in some cases, mainly the people on YouTube and other social media outlets, they'll paint it out like this is it, it's the bottom, it's going to like 20,000 or 250 million, whatever the crazy numbers are out there. But at the end of the golden brick road, it's a drop, and they've been, each time those drops are getting more and more devastating. So while I still think there may be a little more upside to this market, I would highly suggest having some type of investment strategy, a stop loss in place. I would not let Bitcoin get out of hand on you, because if this thing does start to unravel, like I envision Bitcoin unraveling, it's going to be a pretty devastating move that, again, it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise. How, I don't know, given the past of this market, but it definitely will, and it could be a brutal move to the downside. Now, if all of a sudden, like I've said in my prior videos, Bitcoin's breaking above 6,900, 7,000, like right around that range, if it's breaking through that range, and all of a sudden there's a lot of volume coming back into this market, 6, 7, 8 billion in volume, and that volume's staying and it's actually hanging around, and we start trekking higher, I'll change my analysis on Bitcoin. But other than that, again, I just feel like it's Groundhog Day, like it's a hamster in a wheel. It's just like a reincarnation of insanity, over and over and over again. And again, I see price moving up, but the move is just so weak and so brittle that once a big seller is ready to dump into this, and it looks like we're kind of nearing that end, and I think that's why we kind of neared that end up here, was as they were pumping price, it wasn't going much further than where the buy zone was as it was peaking up. So instead of having the trade work against you, you just give up, let it dump out. And that's kind of what Bitcoin's doing here as well. It's just dwindling and dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. And eventually, whoever's propping the market up, exchanges, big buyers, whatever's happening here, I don't think it's the bottoming phase, but who knows? There's never a guarantee to anything. It's just, that's why we have this analysis to try to help us better understand what's going on in the market. But from what I see and what I believe is that the trade is getting very close to an area to where the trade is going to start to work against whoever's propping this market up. And once they back out, again, waterfall city, here we come. So that's pretty much it for the Friday analysis. Really not much has changed because price hasn't gone nowhere. Since the beginning of October, since the tail end of September, this is exactly what we've done. So it's really hard to give anyone an analysis based on that price movement. We've gone literally nowhere. So it's just kind of a crappy week for Bitcoin, crappy week for the altcoins. All of them are kind of in the same boat. Everything's moving together. So I imagine once one lemming goes off a cliff, the rest will go off a cliff. If one lemming starts to actually climb up the hill, the rest should also climb up the hill and follow. But I just don't think that the longer term move is going to be very positive based on what I see and what I have seen in Bitcoin. So anyways, if you guys like the content, you like the information, please like, comment, subscribe, follow. The uptrend line to break is probably around like 64.50 or so. Each exchange is going to differ. This is Bitfinex, is almost like in the center line, pretty close to the rest of the exchanges, but about, I would say a break over 6,800 to break out these tops is what I would look for to change my mind with strength, volume, etc., including the lagging indicators pointing up, showing that strength, making higher highs, making higher lows. That's positive. If not, we start to break through, going downward, and we start to take out these simple uptrend lines. I definitely think that waterfall event is going to occur, and if that occurs, it's going to be absolutely brutal in this market, and it's always more brutal to the downside than it is to the upside in Bitcoin, at least from what I've seen. So anyways, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow. Thank you for your time. I thank you for your support. I'll talk to everybody on Monday. Hopefully Bitcoin can sort itself out over the weekend and provide an opportunity for me to give a much better analysis. I'd rather see this market take off like a rocket ship and have something positive to talk about versus talking about Bitcoin in a negative manner, but it's all I see right now. So it's really hard to break that mindset when I see the same things happening over and over and over again. The cycle could break. It definitely could. That's why I talk about the upside. That's why I talk about the points where I'll change my analysis. But if it doesn't happen, I'm going to remain the king of the bears in Bitcoin and just keep it that way. So anyways, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Great night, depending on where you are. I'll talk to everybody on Monday.